The Dr. Ray Podcast is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio. Here's today's monologue with Dr. Ray Guarendi.
Some weeks ago, I had a caller who said, I can get really hurt by things people say. Is that normal? Well, yeah, it is normal if you mean typical. It's normal if you mean that most people would get hurt by things that people say. Very few people can just brush off most critical comments or put down comments. But that doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it's healthy for you. Because what it does is it puts your emotions under the control of what comes out of another person's mouth. Now, at the time when I was talking to him, I offered one perspective on that, and I realized, because I said I was going to do this in a future commentary, I realized that what I was talking about was really too narrow. It was just a sliver. And that was, I said, when someone says something that hurts you, the mindset, your mindset, is they shouldn't have said that. I don't deserve that. Why would they do that to me? I don't do that to them. In other words, you think they really don't have a reason to say that other than to be mean, hurtful. Then I realized, that's just part of it. That is just part of it. Because there are those people in your life that you love very, very much. There are those people in your life that you want very much to care about you, or to think highly of you, or to recognize what you're like. And if they were to say something that goes against that, you would be hurt. Because that's not what you want to hear from them. I understand this. But I think you could still apply the same reasoning, which is the degree of your hurt. And maybe that's the point of this monologue. I don't think it's possible to never be hurt by something people say. We're human. We're social beings. We care about what people think. The question becomes how hurt and how often. For example, in a marriage, one spouse might say, my other spouse is critical, my other spouse scolds, my other spouse is always pointing out how I'm falling short, and it just hurts and hurts and hurts and hurts. The frustration comes from the fact that, why are they doing this to me? They're supposed to love me. And furthermore, the accumulation has taken its toll. One thing if it was once every month and a half, but heavens, it's 3 times a day, and it's been happening for the last 12 years. Total number, 8,264. Of course I'm going to be hurt. Well, at some point, you interpret the remark so that it hurts you less, which is, for whatever the reason, this is their style. This is what they do. The more they do it, the less it is a reflection upon me. If somebody is very careful about the kind of feedback they give you so that when they do give you feedback, it has credibility, that's very different from somebody who just fires bullet after bullet after bullet verbally about everything. That says more about them than it does about you. And as it says more about them, it should take the sting out of it. You may not like it. Who likes being maligned? But the level of hurt, it's less and less. Very commonly, people will say to me, I can't believe she said that. That was so hurtful. And of course, you explore it. Well, why was it hurtful? Because I don't do that. Well, she must think you do. Well, that's not my motive. That was not my motive. She interpreted my motive wrong. Yeah, that happens a lot. People misread motives probably more than anything else. Well, that just hurt. I thought she was my friend. Well, she still is your friend. But that doesn't mean she can't say things that bother you or land wrong. But are you going to be bothered about them for 4 days? See, that's where you have to ask yourself, why am I doing this to me? What is it about what was said that I am absorbing this emotionally so much? Maybe the initial sting, kind of like a bee sting. The initial sting was there and it lasted an hour. But can you talk yourself past it? Can you say, I don't know why she said it? I'm not going to ask her. I'm not going to chase it. I don't think it's true. That's not what I meant. So she misunderstood. Or, by nature, she's a critical person, and I finally got some of her critique. You have great control over the degree of your hurt. You really do. It's not automatic. Somebody says something hurtful, you have to be hurt. That's not automatic. Now, I know that sounds funny because people say, well, Dr. Ray, come on. I can't flip a switch and not be hurt. Well, no, you can't. Actually, you could, but most of us don't. Ask radio personalities, ask TV personalities. They get all kinds of critique. A lot of it's very unfair. How many of them are hurt by it? I don't think most of them are hurt by it. Well, Dr. Ray, they don't even know who that person is. The person doesn't have the emotional power to hurt them. True. But for many of us, our circle of emotional power is relatively small. Spouses, parents, adult kids, siblings, good friends. It's kind of relatively small. And to allow yourself to essentially damage the relationship because you got very, very hurt over something somebody said. And maybe they didn't even mean it the way you took it. Or maybe they're not even aware that they said anything hurtful. They had no intent to be hurtful. But you took it that way. Always ask yourself, why am I so hurt? How am I interpreting what they said? What am I demanding of their behavior? And am I going to allow this to ruin my peace for 3.5 days? This is Dr. Ray.
More of Dr. Ray's Monologues can be found on his website, drray.com. Monologues as well as full-length programs of The Doctor Is In can be heard at AveMariaRadio.net and EWTN.com/radio.